welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be kind of throwing it right back to the early days, back when I was a beauty channel. I mean, I'm never going to say that I was good at beauty, it's why I did not do it for that long. But a lot of you said, like, on Instagram, oh, what makeup do you use, what product is this, what product is that, like, what makeup are you wearing? And these days I really don't wear makeup that often. I wear it when I need to go on Zoom, essentially. And today I'm actually interviewing the deputy leader of the Labour Party, Angela Rayner. Don't ask me how, don't ask me why, but that is what today is. So I thought I'd better put some makeup on for it, and I thought let's make it into a video, and I can tell you what products I'm using as we go along, but I can also answer your assumptions. So it's a nice mix of chatty and Eve attempting to do a makeup on camera, which never goes particularly well. It's currently 8 a.m. and I'm a bit tired, so hopefully we'll just warm up as this video goes on. But if you do enjoy, be sure to give it a massive thumbs up and comment down below if you'd like more videos like this, or if you think I should stick to the revision advice and day in the life, which is also completely fair. Okay, so let's get started. I have freshly washed makeup brushes, which is always the best feeling, and I'm just going to start with putting on, what is it called? The Becca something. And now it's gone out of business, so this will probably be the last time I put it on. It's the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. I just really like this. It just gives me a little bit of an extra summit. Okay, let's start with the first assumption while I'm doing this. And the first assumption is you're more critical of StudyTube / ultra productivity than when you started YouTube. I wouldn't say than when I started YouTube, because when I started YouTube, actually, I wasn't like a big studier. Like, I started YouTube when I was in year 9, which is crazy, and so I wasn't actually like really focused on studying or anything like that. Like, I've always been a bit of a perfectionist, but it wasn't until I got into year 10 and 11 that my inner study tuber, so to say, came out. But if we're comparing to when I started my StudyTube channel, absolutely, like, I am completely guilty of doing like incredibly productive days in the life, but I will say that I've always been open and honest about my less productive days. I literally had a meltdown on camera during my A-levels. Like, I've never lied. Like, if I've had an unproductive day, for example when I did Studymas, like when I did 25 days of vlogging, studying, like, if I had a bad day I would either film it or I would tell you that I've had a bad day. So I would say I've always been relatively transparent, but I've definitely been guilty of like titles like 14-hour study with me when, you know, and like I would never do that anymore, and I don't really ever see myself uploading like just to study with me again, because I prefer the chatty ones where you're being more honest about your life and just generally showing the ups and downs. I think it's really toxic to just be showing the studying, like nothing else, and just have the whole video be you working, when obviously that's not all you've done in a day. So yeah, I am more critical of it, I would say, but also at the same time, like, I don't think I was ever, I mean, you guys feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, I probably have my videos have definitely made people feel like they're not doing enough. I can 100% agree with that, because, you know, I watch other people's StudyTube videos, and if you're having a bad day, they can really tip you over the edge and just make you think like, oh my god, like, I'm just never gonna be enough, I'm never gonna be studying as much as they do. But I have, especially in the last couple of years, really tried to do like chilled but productive days, or like show the in-between, show when I'm taking a nap, show when I just give up, like, and I hope that that has given my channel a bit more perspective, and I fully can plan to continue doing that even in 4th year of uni, when things are definitely I'm gonna be doing a lot of studying, obviously, especially when it comes to exams. I'll probably be back on that full day. I mean, for the last year I've not done as much work, really, have I, because I've not been at uni, but I'll definitely be going back a little bit towards StudyTube and like productivity when I go back to uni, but I won't be, don't expect 14-hour study with me. I mean, I can't study for 14 hours a day anyway, anymore. Not that I could, no, I could never study for 14 hours a day, what am I kidding? I literally just had the brush I needed and it's just disappeared. Anyway, so next thing, I've just put some concealer on my eyelids. and I'm just going to quickly powder that just to set it, and then I'm going to do my eyes. And by do my eyes, I literally mean put some bronzer in the crease. I use Rimmel Stay Matte powder, by the way, always have. Do you know what, there's just never been another powder that's done it for me. This one, I don't know how many of these I've got through, but it's cheap, it's cheerful, works a treat, love it. My favourite bronzer is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush bronzer. This is in the shade 2 medium. Makes a great eyeshadow, is all I'm saying. The next question is, you're worried about not having children. And I actually got a few of these. I think probably because I've been speaking about my sort of problems with hormones and what could be potential PCOS, like who knows. I still haven't got an appointment for an ultrasound, but the new pill that I'm on and the fact that I'm exercising regularly has really helped. So I'm hoping that that will alleviate the symptoms at least. I definitely do worry about not being able to have children. I mean, it's bold of me to assume that that's even on my radar given where I am with my love life, but no, yeah, I do definitely worry about it. And I think everyone's kind of maybe worried about it. If you want children, of course, you know, you don't have to have children. I don't think anyone can say that they've not just like randomly had a thought like, what if I'm infertile? And if I am, then yeah, of course it would be really hard news to take, but there are other options. For example, if it's possible with whatever has caused me to not be able to have kids, like IVF or adoption, or there's surrogacy, there's lots of different things that we can do these days. Modern medicine is incredible. And so I'm not too worried, and I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. And also my mum was told that she couldn't have children, and here I am talking to you, so it can't be, you know, like there are ways around it, and like it's not always when they say that you can't have children. I know a lot of family members that have actually been able to have children, but I know that it's quite a sensitive topic. But yeah, I definitely have worried about not being able to have children. I suppose I don't want children in the next few years, but I would like to have children one day. Yeah, definitely. Just when I'm ready, which is not now. The next one is, you wouldn't be friends with first year Eve if you met her now. I absolutely would not be. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't be friends with Eve this time last year. I feel like I've really just detached from old Eve, which apparently I've read is good. If you're embarrassed by your past self, it shows growth. So I must have been growing in some sort of direction, which I'm very happy about. But I don't know if you guys have noticed a change. Probably not. Probably me just overthinking it really. But I just, yeah, I wouldn't be friends with first year Eve. I know that's actually really harsh on first year Eve. First year Eve at uni was going through a really tough time mentally, and I think it's a bit unfair of me to be like, oh, she was horrible, like, God, she was just so awful to be around. But like, you know, that's what mental health does to people. It's really difficult, and it changes them and their personality, and makes them worried and anxious and stressed, and you know, etc, etc. So no, yes, no, I wouldn't. I don't know, would I be friends with her? Well, I mean, people were still friends with me in my first year. I wasn't like a horrible person or anything. I just was a very anxious, stressed people pleaser. I mean, I'm still a people pleaser, but that's a difficult question actually. I think I instinctively said no, which is perhaps quite harsh on myself, like quite harsh on past Eve. So maybe I'll take that back and say that I would be, but I definitely don't feel like, when I watch those vlogs back, which I don't do very often, believe me, because it's just a lot, I feel very detached from that person, and I struggle to relate to her, and I feel like I don't look like her, and I don't think like her, and stuff. But that maybe doesn't mean that I wouldn't have been friends with her, because she was still kind, she still had good intentions, she still wanted the best for people and for herself, and she was still there for people. So I take that back. I would have been friends with her, and I would have helped her. I think I would have tried to help her and get away from the sort of dark pit that she'd got herself into. So yeah, I take it back. We've gone through a journey there on that question, but no, I would be friends with her. Next one is, would you like to do, or you will do, a PhD someday? No. Do you know what? I actually don't think that a PhD, I don't know if maybe at some point I've said it on this channel that I would consider doing a PhD. I definitely consider doing a master's, 100%. In fact, that was always kind of the plan. I'd do my degree and then I'd do a master's. My tutors would very much like me to do a master's. That's generally the direction that they've been pushing me in. But I've not done the extended essay. Basically, with my final year at uni, you get the choice to do an extended essay, which is basically where, yeah, you write kind of like a master's thesis vibe thing. And that's supposed to be good practice if you are going to apply for a master's. And I've not done that because, quite frankly, I know that I won't have the time. I don't want to create any extra work for myself in my final year, because basically that paper, if you do it, it knocks off your lowest exam grade, which I would be grateful for, I think, but the one that I know that is going to be the worst is my oral exam, and the oral exam doesn't count. So I thought there's no point in stressing myself out. Anyway, as much as I love my degree, I find it really interesting. Like, I wouldn't have changed the degree that I did at all. I've just realised I want to I'm done with academics. I'm done with academia. I don't want to know anymore. I just want to get out in the world and do practical things and speak to people and report on tangible events, because if academia is for you and you like the theory and you like studying literature, that is literally no problem at all. It's not me saying like, oh, it's so stupid. It's just more that I get really frustrated with how little correlation it has with the real world, I think, sometimes. And academics I feel like they don't get the credit they deserve. They work really, really hard, and it can be quite a toxic industry. I mean, so can journalism. Lol, who am I kidding? But I think no. I couldn't imagine myself doing a PhD. Maybe a master's if I change my mind, yes. But PhD, definitely not. Like, I want to just go out and get a job and just be in the world and not at uni. As much as uni's fun, and I'd love to redo my uni experience in a non-pandemic vibe, a PhD uni experience is not the same as like an undergraduate, so no. Right, I'm just going to quickly do my eyeliner because look how slow it's taking me to do this makeup. So I'm just going to quickly do my eyeliner and then I'll get back to you because I can't do my eyeliner whilst talking. Okay, I've done what is the world's most uneven eyeliner, but look, we're running short on time, so we're going to have to continue with the face. So I use a Maybelline brown eyeliner, by the way, like a brown felt tip. I don't use black anymore. You guys know I used to be the eyeliner queen, but I don't even wear eyeliner every day anymore, and when I do, it's literally just brown eyeliner like this. I'm going to come back to my eyes and do my mascara and stuff in a bit, but first it's time for concealer. And I use the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away concealer mainly, but I did also buy the Collection Lasting Perfection, but I think I bought it in too light of a shade really, so I'm kind of going to mix both of them and go out and buy a darker shade of the Collection Lasting Perfection, because as lovely as the Charlotte Tilbury one is, it's expensive for a concealer. The next one is, you can't go a video without apologising for your appearance. Girl, you don't need to. Well, thank you. I've just realised that I haven't actually apologised for my appearance in this video, so character growth? I don't know, you tell me. But what was I going to say? Yeah, I'm really bad at apologising way too much. We all know this. It was one of my New Year's resolutions, but I don't know if anybody else watched the Caroline Flack documentary. I don't know if anybody else watched it. If you didn't watch it, you need to watch it for sure. I sobbed the whole way through. I was really impacted by Caroline's death in general because I watched her a lot growing up, and I don't know, it was kind of one of those celebrity deaths that really, really impacted me, like a lot, and I still think about it regularly just because, I don't know, I've never ever dealt with the level of press attention, obviously, that Caroline has. All I've dealt with is like online hate forums and, you know, nasty comments, and I struggle with that, and I genuinely wholeheartedly believe that the comments I've received online have shaped who I am as a person, like in a negative way, because everyone always says like, oh, just ignore it, like just don't give them the attention that they crave. But until you're in that position where people are saying horrible things about you on the internet, like you just don't know like how much of an impact it's going to have on you, really. And growing up obviously on the internet with people, most people are really lovely, obviously, and I never received nearly even close to what Caroline Flack had to deal with, like not even in the same ballpark. And what made me cry was that I could understand what was going through her head, and what led up to the decision that she took, because you really do just feel like there's nowhere to turn when you've got people calling you ugly or disgusting, or, you know, people telling you to kill yourself. You know, how is a human supposed to deal with that? Humans aren't wired to deal with that, you know. And everyone's like, oh well, if you can't deal with it, then don't go into the limelight. Why don't we turn the attention onto the people that are writing these horrible things? Like, I just don't get how you could say that online to someone that you don't know, even to someone you do know, but to someone that you don't know, and you don't know anything about their life other than what you're being told by The Sun, which we all know is just doesn't even deserve to be mentioned as journalism. And you're just there like, yeah, I'm going to take that as fact, I'm going to run with it, and I'm going to hound this person and criticise them and belittle them and all of this stuff. And I know that Caroline, you know, struggled with other things. If you watched the documentary, you would have seen there was lots of factors that went into it, but like, why, you know? And then it got me thinking about how I am and why I am the way that I am. And you'll know that I'm such a people pleaser. Like, I'm such a people pleaser, and I write disclaimers on literally everything I do. And if someone's even remotely off with me in my personal life, like, I get so stressed that I'm a bad person. And I realised, actually, when I was talking to a therapist about it, that being online and having people question and criticise a lot of the things that you do, which normal people can kind of just do without being questioned, if that makes sense. It really starts to convince you that you're a bad person, just fundamentally, that that's the default state of like who you are, and that you have to prove yourself against that bad person image. And that's just so toxic, I think, because that's kind of how I've always seen myself. Like, oh, people are just looking for me to slip up, people are just looking for me to make a mistake to prove that I'm the bad person that they think that I am, which is not true. Like, I am fundamentally a good person. I deserve love, I deserve to be happy, and yeah, and Caroline also deserved to be happy. Sorry, this has gone so deep for literally like not that deep of a question, but I think the reason I always apologise is because I just know people are going to comment, so if I say it first, then I've kind of got ahead of the game, but then that leads to me self-deprecating myself a lot. I'm definitely getting better with it growing up, like, but it's definitely shaped who I am as a person and contributed no end to like my anxieties and just like the more negative aspects of myself, you know, because as I said on Twitter, like, you do just, these comments don't leave people really, you know. There are still comments that I've received that shape like what I do. Like, I'll go to do something in my everyday life and then I'll hear like a hate forum comment and I'll be like, should I be doing this? And it does govern you a little bit, and you try to let it not govern you, of course, but it's always going to be there in the back of your mind. And when you're having a particularly bad day, it becomes like one of those voices that's just swirling around in your head. You've already got your own, and then it just adds to the noise. So yeah, sorry, that was really deep and like quite upsetting, and I could probably go a lot deeper, but I won't because it's a makeup video. But yeah, I'm sorry that I do apologise a lot. I think it's just kind of built into me from years of, and as I said, like, I'm barely even in the spotlight. Like, Caroline Flack literally was on the front page of every paper. I do not know how I would have coped. I don't think I would have coped. I don't think I would have, to be honest. The next one made me crease, and speaking of creases, I'm just going to set my concealer. I'm not going to wear foundation today actually because my skin's alright, and I'm trying not to wear too much face makeup, so I'm just going to set my face now with the Stay Matte powder. The next one is, you're considering you're considering a career in corporate law. No, like, literally never has it. I don't, like, my parents are lawyers, my mum and my stepdad are lawyers, and if I've learnt one thing from them, it's that I don't want to go into law. They're not even in corporate law, they're both in public law. One's in planning, one's the legal head of a council. It's not for me. It's not for me. It's never been for me. Look, for those of you that do go into law, I salute you, I applaud you, I think you're incredible, and good on you, and you're definitely going to get that dollar if you go into corporate law, but it's just not for me. I just don't want a job like that. I think the reason I've kind of been drawn to journalism more is because with journalism, I'm just putting some of the Anastasia palette on my under eyes, by the way. Like, it's busy, everything's different all the time, you're moving, you're just talking to people, like real people. Not that lawyers aren't real people, I just mean that I don't want a job like that. I don't want to just like talk about the law. Yeah, that's basically my hot insight onto why I don't want to be a lawyer. No, I don't really know how to explain it properly, but it's just not a job that I've ever considered, and especially if I was going to go into law, it would definitely not be corporate law. As much as I'm sure anybody would love the paycheck, but I just wouldn't want to. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. I don't want to like trash lawyers at all, obviously. It's just... Anyway, before I was rudely interrupted by my family, yeah, no, I wouldn't be a lawyer, and I think they know that as well, to be honest. Anyway, so I'm now just going to put some bronzer on. This is always the bit that goes horrifically wrong. So, I'm going to start with the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, and then I'll probably go in with the Anastasia contour. But as I said, I'm no makeup artist, so this could go one of two ways, and I'm kind of guessing which way it's going to go already. Next question is, you date someone 5 years older than you, or more than 5 years older than you? I don't know how much older than 5 years I would probably consider, but I would probably definitely date someone significantly older. Not significantly, but like 3, 4, 5 years older than me. In fact, I think I would probably prefer that, because I just... With people, with guys our age, like, not that they're all literally like the same. I'm not trying to put everyone in the same boat, but the experience that I've kind of had is that just... I think I would just prefer to date someone slightly older, and my family have always said to me that they could see me with somebody slightly older. I don't know why. I don't know if I have a reason for that particularly, other than they kind of know a bit more what they want in life, just a bit more mature. And like, let's just say that I've definitely noticed that with any guy that I've spoken to that's my age, and I definitely wouldn't date somebody younger than me. Went down that road, it literally proved my point, well, proved my mom's point, that you can't trust men. no, sorry. I'm trying to keep my inner skeptic inside today. The next one is, you don't want to live in England after university, and I think that this is a very, very common one, because I was watching back some of my old videos, and like I was always like, I don't want to live in England, like I want to get out of here, it's not for me. Whereas ultimately, I don't know if it's just like growing up or whatever, and just being more realistic and thinking about kind of what you want in life, but ultimately whenever I do those, like, you know, when people ask you to sit down and visualize your life, I always visualize myself in England. I honestly, everyone always thinks that I'm like, I am super ambitious, and I want to go places with my career, clearly. Ultimately, my goal in life is to have a lovely big house with a couple of dogs, a husband that loves and cares for me, a job that I don't have to give my entire life to, but that I enjoy, and yeah, a nice house in the rural suburbs, not even the rural suburbs, like just outside of a city, and that my kids have good lives, and that's literally what I want in my life. And I think that these days there's definitely like a stigma around just wanting to be like, I hate to say it, but just like, you know, not having these, like, wanting to be like CEO of a company, or like be a girl boss, like an entrepreneur. And good for you, absolutely. Like, if you want to be a big businesswoman, seriously, I couldn't do that. I don't have the creativity to do that. But I just don't want that. Like, I just want a job that pays relatively well, but that I really enjoy. It doesn't have to pay loads and loads and loads. It just has to pay the bills and allow us to have a comfortable life. And I just want a happy home life and a nice house. I've always wanted a nice house. I've been saving for a house for so long. So I really hope that that's like my biggest dream, is to have a house that's like an old house that I can kind of do up but keep the character of it, and in like a really nice area, send my kids to school, and they can just be happy and comfortable and never have to worry about money. I had to worry about money, well, my parents had to worry about money quite a lot when I was younger, so I would love, that's not my parents' fault at all, obviously. I would just love for my kids to grow up and just be stable and happy and comfortable and healthy. And yeah, I don't think I definitely see myself going abroad, like traveling and maybe working abroad for a little bit in my 20s, 100%. Do I see myself settling abroad? Actually, no. I think I do just see myself settling in the UK, which is crazy, controversial. Next up, I'm going to do blush. It's this Estee Lauder blush. Do you know what? This is probably gone out of date by now, I can't lie, but look, it still works. Did anyone else buy this when Zoella bought this? Same. And you know what? It's a great blush. So I never used to wear blush. Everyone went through the phase where we didn't wear blush. Whereas now, I feel like it just adds a bit of life back into my cold, dead face. Final assumption is that I'm actually quite shy. And I was thinking about this one because I saw it and I thought, like all of the other ones I saw and I was like, true or false? Like, yeah, that's right. No, that's wrong. Whereas with this one, I was like, I actually don't know. I'm just going to put some mascara on, by the way, while I'm doing this one. It is the Maybelline Sky High. And then the, where has she gone? Where's my favourite mascara? The Lancome Monsieur Big. This is my favourite thing ever. This is the cheaper version of it. Together, they are great. Anyway, so yeah, I think I'm quite an outgoing person. I'm definitely an extrovert. I would never say I'm shy. I'm bad in networking situations. I'm not the sort of like, the way I would compare it to is like David is very much just like, he'll just go up to someone and be like in a, you know, you're at an event and he'll just go up to someone he doesn't even know and introduce himself and just be like, hi, you know, to get his foot in the door. I would never do that, and I can't do that, and I get really nervous around like introducing myself to new people just randomly. If someone comes up to me and introduces themselves, I'm fine. I am quite extroverted. I can just get on really well with new people. I wouldn't say I'm shy, but I wouldn't say I'm like super like David, basically. Is like, I'm not very outgoing. I'm not very, you know, charismatic and stuff. I'm just me. I am relatively loud as a person when I want to be, but I do also very much appreciate my own time. So I think it's kind of a mix of both. So I don't think I'm shy. That brings me on to my last assumption, actually, that you like living at home. So obviously I'd never ever planned being here this long. If I'd have known, I would have completely redone my bedroom, because I literally feel like I'm living as my 14-year-old self at the moment, which is not fun, and I hate my bedroom. Like, I hate how it's done. I would completely change it nowadays, obviously. I'd get rid of the big bed, which I never wanted anyway. I would literally just completely redo it, and I've got so much stuff now as well. Like, I've got, as I've said before, I've got enough stuff to live by myself independently, and I would love to be living by myself independently. But at the same time, clearly the universe had other plans, and I think that I was always growing up, like, because of YouTube, from the age of like 15, I was always out the house. I was always in London or at events or travelling or busy, and I didn't spend a lot of time with my family, or as much time as I would have liked to. I was always just away, you know, and I always wanted to be away. I wanted to be out. I wanted to be living my best independent life. And so I am grateful in a way. Like, obviously I would rather the pandemic had not happened, believe me, but the pandemic has actually brought me down avenues that I otherwise wouldn't have gone down. I wouldn't have gone to Black Country Radio and realised that I actually really do want to do that as a job, as a career. I wouldn't have got that work experience either. I wouldn't have, yeah, there's just so many things that I wouldn't have done or wouldn't have known had it not been because of the pandemic, and for that I'm incredibly grateful. Lips, always Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk. Like, I really do need to wear other colours. I would put on lip liner, but quite frankly I can't be bothered today. I am grateful, actually, especially like this last January and February were a really rough time for me, but now I've kind of accepted that I'm not really going to Spain, or if I do, it'll be for like a couple of months. I'm enjoying, especially, like, of course with my family, but especially enjoying the time spent with my dog, because she's not getting any younger, and I literally love my dog so much, and she's literally been my best friend since we had her, and I'm really grateful that I get to spend pretty much all day every day with her. And also that, you know, I mean, I don't see myself living in the Black Country, but it's, you know, I used to hate on it so much, and I used to be like, oh god, West Bromwich, Wolverhampton, what horrible places. And I kind of wish that I wasn't so harsh on Wolverhampton, West Bromwich and stuff, because, you know, like, there are lovely people here and it feels like home to me, and, you know, it's a beautiful, not beautiful, it's a vibrant region that's got a lot of potential, and like, working and looking at local politics with Black Country Radio, I've realised just how much people care about this region and how much potential it has. And so it's been really nice to spend some time here, actually, you know, just just appreciating it a little bit more, because as I said, I don't really see myself living here long term. But it has been my home, it has been where I've grown up, it's shaped me as a person, and so I am very, very grateful for it in that respect. And so, no, I don't like living at home, in the sense that I would love to be living in an apartment in Manchester right now, all by myself, and visiting my family, but obviously Corona's not going to permit that. So I am grateful that I've had 4 or 5 more months at home, because I mean, I'm not going to be at home after this really. I'll be in Oxford, then I'll be travelling, then I'll be moving out. So yes and no, every cloud has a silver lining for sure. I'll be back in a second because I need to sort this out. So I just went and quickly like sorted my hair out. I'm really sorry if I spoke at like 2 miles an hour in this video. I have a feeling that I did, because I can't multitask. I literally can't do my makeup and talk, so I don't really know why I thought this would be a good idea, but I think I did get through quite a few assumptions, and it probably is about 7 years long. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, the last thing I used was the Fenty Beauty lip gloss in the shade Fussy, which is literally my favourite thing. Any of the Fenty Beauty lip glosses will probably be on my lips at any given point if you see me out and about. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a massive thumbs up and let me know what other videos that you would like to see from me. But I've got to go because I've got a call with Angela Rayner, and I've got some pretty tricky questions to ask. So I will see you very, very soon with a new video. Bye guys. Oh, that just ruined that, didn't it? Bye guys. Mwah.